are by far my favorite episodes. I get to answer your questions. Today in our Q&A, we're answering the questions that you've posted in the comments of our videos. Whenever I hear this question, I kind of laugh. I mean, how ridiculous is it that I have to track my gum consumption? It totally depends on how much gum you're eating. Are you having 1 piece of gum every single day or 2 pieces of gum every single day? I think it's 5 calories per piece of gum. So it might be 1 gram of carbs or 2 grams of carbs per piece of gum. That's probably not going to make a huge difference if you're having only 1 or 2 pieces. However, I have seen people having entire packs of gum in a day. So let's say you're having 10 pieces of gum in a day. That could be 10 to 15 to 20 grams of carbohydrates depending on what kind of gum you have. That does actually make a difference. So if you have a chewing gum habit and you're eating 10 to 20 pieces of gum a day, then I would definitely consider tracking it because it is going to make a difference. Intermittent fasting, definitely something that's been out there. People have been doing this for a really long time, and there are a lot of benefits for certain people. If that's something that you find works really well for you, then go for it. If it works well, makes you feel good, and it's helping you achieve your results, then I think that's awesome. Some things to keep in mind that might make it really great for you or might make you want to keep into consideration if this is something that you're going to adopt. One is that it's pretty simple. So you know that you're only going to be eating in a specific period of time or only after a specific amount of time, and that can be really simple. You know, I know when I can eat, I know when I have to stop eating, and it's some simple rules to follow. You know if you're doing it right, or you know if you're not doing it right. Not as complicated. When thinking that if it might not work for you, if you're working out at different times of the day or you're working at a time where you're going to be fasted, it might not be the best option for you if you find yourself feeling lightheaded or not being able to push as hard in your workouts. So it's definitely 2 things to keep in mind. Something I would take into account too is go to find the podcast Found My Fitness and look for the 2 episodes with Dr. Sachin Panda. I think it's 2 episodes, might be 3, who knows, but he has something called he's doing some research on something called time-restricted feeding, and it's eating within a 9 or a 12-hour window. He also has an app where he's collecting information of people that are using this 9 or 12-hour window feeding time, and it's not necessarily about calories, but more about eating within that specific period of time. And he lists a lot of amazing benefits to eating this way and how our bodies react with the circadian rhythms. So definitely give that a listen. It's going to give you a lot more information than I can give you in this Q&A. This one's really tough. I mean, I've totally been there. I've been there feeling completely out of control, like I just wanted to eat everything and I couldn't stop myself. Like I really had no control over the food that I was eating. My #1 recommendation would be first of all, is to be kind with yourself. Be compassionate and know that you're definitely not alone and this is something that you can get through for sure. I would definitely pick a friend or somebody that you really trust and talk about it with them. Maybe there's something going on in your life that is taking up all of your space and not giving you any freedom to be able to get back in control of your nutrition because it's comforting, it's something that you've known has made you feel good in the past, so it's always what you might be going back to. One metaphor that I've gotten from Dr. Sean Pastuch of Active Life is you have a tower of blocks. So we have this last block that we build our block really high, and each block is maybe a stressor or something that's affecting us in our life. It could be kids, relationships, stress, job, exercise, injuries, whatever it is that could be stressing you out, and each block represents one of those stressors. When our stressors build up over time, it builds this tower. And then eventually we put this last block on the top of the tower and the whole tower topples over. Often we assume that that last block is the reason that this entire tower has toppled over. But what we forget is that if we would have taken any of the blocks out from underneath, we would have had a lower tower and it wouldn't have toppled over. So it's important to keep in mind that there might be other things aside from just what you're eating and your behaviors around food that are leading you to overeat or not feel in control of your food. It's worth looking at your sleep, your hydration, your relationships, your management of stress, how often you're spending time outdoors versus indoors, how often you're spending time doing playful things or rejuvenation versus things that are efficient or leading to progress. Worth taking a look at all of those things, and that might help you find your answer. Often the answer to your problem is not necessarily in the problem itself, it's in taking action and figuring out what's going to work for you. These are my favorite questions. So if you have a question pertaining to your nutrition, doesn't matter how specific it is, doesn't matter how vague it is, I would love to hear what you have to say. So put a comment in this video and give me the question. Tell me exactly what's going on in your life and I would love to help you in one of these videos.